Where over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that we dream of once in a lullaby. Go ahead.
Once there was a girl named Dorothy. She lived with her parents in the heart of great Kansas prairies. One day, Dorothy and her dog Toto were playing inside the house. Suddenly, there appeared a large cyclone that picked the house right up off its foundation, with Dorothy and Toto still inside. It carried them high into the sky. After several days, the house landed with a crash.
Dorothy walked to the door, and much to her surprise, she was in a strange land. Standing before her was a crowd of little people. They were colorfully dressed. The little people seemed very happy to see Dorothy, who now spoke to their leader.
Who are you? I'm the Munchkin Mayor. We'd like to thank you for killing the Wicked Witch.
What do you mean? I haven't killed anyone.
The mayor pointed to the corner of the house, and there, sticking out from under the large beam, were 2 feet in red shoes.
Your house landed on top of the witch.
The Munchkins explained that they had been the witch's slaves for many years. Today, however, Dorothy had rid them of the witch, and they were at last set free from her evil spell. Then the leader presented Dorothy with the red shoes that the Wicked Witch was wearing.
These shoes are ours now. I'm not sure, but I have heard they are magic.
Dorothy thanked him and put the shoes on. They fit her perfectly. Then she asked the crowd if they knew how she could get back to Kansas. Since no one had ever heard of Kansas, they could not answer her question. But the Munchkin Mayor had a wonderful idea.
The Wizard of Oz can help.
He told Dorothy of the great wizard who lived in the city of Emerald and how he performed magic with his great powers. When Dorothy asked how she could find the city of Emerald, the Munchkin Mayor answered by telling her to
follow the yellow brick road.
The crowd led Dorothy to the road paved with yellow bricks. She turned to wave goodbye and skipped happily down the road, carrying Toto in her arms. After she had traveled for several miles, Dorothy stopped to rest.
narrator to follow. Next to the cornfield and not far away was a scarecrow. It had been placed on a pole to frighten away the birds. At the moment, Dorothy heard a voice.
Hello.
Dorothy was surprised and turned towards the scarecrow. Did you speak?
Yes, how do you do?
They introduced themselves, and the scarecrow explained that he had been stuck with straw and had no brains, and wished for some. Dorothy told him of the wizard and invited him to join her and Toto. The scarecrow accepted, and they were off together down the yellow brick road. Soon they came to a patch of trees, and as they walked by, they heard a noise.
In the middle of the trees was a man named Tim. He stood motionless with an axe in his hand. Dorothy walked up to him and looked closely at his face.
Did you say something?
Yes, please bring me some oil.
Dorothy found some oil and oiled the Tin Man from head to toe. When he was able to move, the Tin Man bowed and thanked her. He explained that he had been out chopping down trees some time ago when it suddenly started to rain. Before the Tin Man could get out of the rain, he had rusted so badly he could not move.
I have stayed here forever. If you haven't come along, say what are you doing here?
Dorothy told him of the wizard, and the Tin Man was very curious.
Do you think the wizard could give you a heart? It was stolen by a tin girl that I once loved.
Dorothy and the Scarecrow agreed so the Tin Man joined them on the trip to see the Great Wizard of Oz. They traveled for many miles and finally came to a thickly wooded forest. Suddenly there was
Hang on one second, Kendall. So you're going to travel down to the forest. This way. Go down to the lion. Dorothy, you too.
Dorothy,
Jocelyn.
wrong way.
Come on. Follow them over.
There was a loud roar
You get there, Kendall.
from the forest. And the next moment, a fierce lion leaped onto the road. With one sweep of his paw, he pushed down the scarecrow and then jumped on the Tin Man, knocking him over as the great beast opened his mouth. Dorothy rushed forward and punched the lion right in the nose.
You big beast. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. The lion rubbed his nose with his paw. You're nothing but a big coward.
I know I'm a coward, but I can't help it.
Dorothy couldn't resist feeling sorry for the beast.
Please don't cry. I'm sorry I hit you. I just can't understand how a great lion like you could be a coward. The lion explained that he was born that way and that his entire life he wished more than anything to have courage so he could be what the other animals expected, the king of beasts to be. Dorothy told him of the Wizard of Oz and how he might be able to give the lion his courage. So the lion joined them on the journey down the yellow brick road. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wrong.
Oh my God.
3, 2, 1. I'll say it with you. Ready? Oh, we're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Go. Skip, people. Skip.
And now it's my
Are you the wizard, Connor?
Wait, that any of them had ever seen. The streets were lined with green marble houses and set with sparkling emeralds. Dorothy and her friends came to the Palace of Oz, home of the Great Wizard. They walked up to the soldier at the door and asked to see the wizard. He led them to a large round room, and they were greeted by a little man dressed in a long green robe. He was seated on a marble throne and nodded his head as he spoke. It's the wizard.
I am the Great Wizard of Oz. Why have you come?
I want to go back home to Kansas.
I'd like some brains. I need a horse. What?
I need a horse. I need a horse. I don't even see it. Courage. The wizard solemnly told the four that he could not help them unless they brought him the broomstick of the last evil witch, the Wicked Witch of the West. Then the soldier returned and escorted the group to the front door.
There they asked the soldier how they could find the Wicked Witch of the West. He warned them that all those who attempted to see the Wicked Witch never returned. Finally, the soldier realized his advice would not be followed, so he told the group how to find the Wicked Witch.
They thanked him and headed towards the west. They ran as fast as they could, and soon Emerald City was far behind. Dorothy, the lion, and Toto were very tired from running and decided to rest. They lay down on the soft grass, and in no time at all, were fast asleep, while the Tin Man and Scarecrow stood guard.
Now the Wicked Witch of the West had only one eye, but it was as powerful as a telescope and could see anywhere. She saw Dorothy and her friends and noticed the red shoes on Dorothy. They're flying.
You keep going.
Wait. Oh. Ah, where'd I go?
Annabelle.
Come here, monkeys. Catch the girl and bring her here. I want her magic shoes.
Top of page 5.
The winged monkeys took to the sky. There were so many of them that the sky was darkened as they flew towards Dorothy and her friend. The Tin Man was first to see them.
The winged monkeys, quick, run and hide.
But it was too late. Suddenly the monkeys were upon them. The lion, the scarecrow, and the Tin Man fought a fierce battle. But it was no use. There were too many monkeys. Finally, the monkeys picked up Dorothy, who was holding Toto in her arms, and flew back to the castle. The Wicked Witch was waiting when they arrived.
Give me those shoes.
No, they're mine.
The witch had her slaves pull Dorothy while she tried to remove the shoes, but they would not come off. The witch realized that since they were magic shoes, they could only be removed if Dorothy wished them to be.
If you don't give me your shoes, I'll kill your dog.
The witch reached for Toto, who immediately bit her on the hand.
Ouch, you'll pay for this, you bad dog. I'll be back in 1 hour. If you don't give me those shoes, I'll kill your dog.
1 hour passed and the witch returned. She was not aware that the lion, scarecrow, and Tin Man had climbed over the outside wall. Once again, the witch asked for the shoes and Dorothy refused. The witch's slaves were about to reach for Toto when the lion sprang through the window with a great roar. The witch pointed at the lion.
Grab him.
For the winged monkeys jumped at the lion, but he knocked them all down with one blow from his paw. The witch grabbed a torch from the wall and was about to set the lion's bushy tail on fire when Dorothy grabbed a pail of water nearby and threw it on the witch. Instantly, the woman gave a loud cry and began to shrink away. Soon the witch was gone. The creatures of the castle were happy because they were finally set free from the witch's trap. Dorothy splattered the witch's broom on the floor and picked it up. Dorothy and her friends said farewell to the creatures of the castle and then returned to the Wizard of Oz. When they were once again in the great room, the wizard spoke to them.
So Dorothy and the kid, Ava?
I am happy to see you. Do you have the witch's broom?
Yes, great wizard. Not only do we have the broom, we've killed the wicked witch.
They were surprised to see the little man climb down from his throne and joyously dance around. The news of the Wicked Witch's death quickly spread throughout the Emerald City, and there was great merriment and rejoicing. The wizard called Dorothy and her friends in to grant their wishes. First, he took the scarecrow and filled his head with pins and needles.
This will make you sharp.
Tin Man.
Next, he took a heart-shaped clock from his bag and placed it inside the Tin Man.
Now you have a heart.
Then the wizard had the lion drink a saucer of sour tasting green liquid.
You will going to drink that. It's what I call it.
Finally came Dorothy's turn. Oz smiled as he spoke to her. You could have gone back home a long time ago if you knew the magic you had.
What do you mean?
These lectures will take you home. All you need to do is click your heels together 3 times.
Dorothy cried as she kissed her friends goodbye. Then she picked up Toto and clicked the heels of her shoes together 3 times.
Click your heels, Jocelyn. Click your heels.
Take me back to Kansas.
Wait. I'll turn the page. Quickly, Dorothy was back home. Dorothy was glad to be back with her parents, but realized that she would never be able to forget her wonderful adventures in the land of Oz.
All right. Woo! Great job. Thank you.
Very good.
All right.
Once there was a girl named Dorothy. She lived with her parents in the heart of the great Kansas prairies. One day, Dorothy and her dog Toto were playing inside the house. Suddenly, there appeared a large cyclone that picked the house right up off its foundation with Dorothy and Toto still inside. It carried high into the sky. After several days, the house landed with a crash. Dorothy walked to the door, and much to her surprise, she was in a strange land. Standing before her was a crowd of little people. They were colorfully dressed. The little people seemed very happy to see Dorothy, who now spoke to their leader.
Who are you?
I'm the Munchkin Mayor. We'd like to thank you for killing the Wicked Witch.
What do you mean? I haven't killed anyone.
The mayor pointed to the corner of the house, and there, sticking out
Someone.
from under a large beam with 2 feet and shoes. Your house landed on top of the witch.
The Munchkin explained that they had been the witch's slaves for many years. Today, however, Dorothy had rid them of the witch, and they were at last set free from her evil spell. When the leader presented Dorothy with the red shoe the Wicked Witch was wearing.
These shoes are yours now. I'm not sure, but I've heard they're magic. Dorothy thanked him for putting on the shoes. Then they fit her perfect. Then she asked the crowd if they knew how she could get back to Candace. Since no one heard of Candace, they could not answer her questions, but the Munchkin Mayor had a wonderful idea.
What?
The Wizard of Oz could help. He told Dorothy of the great wizard who lived in the city of Emeralds, and how the who performed magic with his great powers. When Dorothy asked how she could find the city of Emeralds, the Munchkin Mayor answered by telling her to follow the yellow brick road.
The crowd led Dorothy. The crowd led Dorothy to the little page of yellow brick. She turned to wave goodbye and skipped happily down the road, carrying Toto in her arms. After she traveled for several miles, Dorothy stopped to rest. Next to the cornfield, and not far away, was a scarecrow. It had been placed on a pole to frighten away the birds at that moment. Dorothy heard a voice.
Hello.
Dorothy was surprised and turned toward the scarecrow.
Did you speak?
Yes, how do you do?
They introduced themselves. With the scarecrow, and the scarecrow explained that he had been stuffed with straw and had no brains and wished for some. Dorothy told him of the wizard and invited him to join her and Toto. The Scarecrow accepted, and they were off together. Down the yellow brick road, soon they came to a patch of trees. As they walked by, they heard a noise. In the middle of the trees
was a man made of tin. He stood motionless with an axe in his hand. Dorothy walked up to him and looked closely at his face.
Did you say something?
Yes, please bring me some oil.
Dorothy found some oil and oiled the Tin Man from head to toe. When he was able to move, the Tin Man bowed and thanked her. He explained that he had been out chopping down trees some time ago when it suddenly started to rain. Before the Tin Man could get out the rain, he had rusted so badly he could not move.
I have stayed here forever. If you didn't come along, say, what are you doing here?
Person, other narrator.
Dorothy told him of the wizard, and the Tin Man was very curious.
Do you think the Wizard King could give me a hug? It was stolen by a tin girl that I once loved.
Narrator. It's not me, it's Connor.
Dorothy and the Scarecrow agreed that it was possible for the Tin Man to join them. And traveled for many miles and finally came to the town.
Sam's supposed to call
What did
for Sam. Sam and Inda
Suddenly-
are supposed to call back.
Suddenly there was a loud roar from the forest, and next was a fierce lion leaped into the road. With one sweep of his paw, he pushed down the Scarecrow and jumped on the Tin Man, knocking him over. As the great beast opened his mouth, Dorothy rushed over and punched the lion right in the nose.
You big bitch! You ought to be ashamed of yourself!
The lion rubbed his nose with his paw.
You're nothing but a big coward!
I know I'm a coward, but I can't help it.
At last.
Dorothy couldn't resist feeling sorry for the beast.
Please don't cry. I'm sorry I hit you. I just can't understand how a great lion like you could be a coward.
The lion explained that he was born that way, and his entire life he had wished more than anything to have courage, so he could be what the other animals expected the king of beasts to be. Dorothy told him of the wizard and how he might be able to give the lion his courage. So the lion joined them on their journey down the yellow brick road.
1, 2, 3. Oh! See the wizard, the magical wizard.
Go, Sam.
city. It was the most beautiful place that any of them had ever seen.
Zero.
Ever seen. The streets were lined up with green marble tiles and set with a sparkly emerald. Dorothy and her friends walked up to the Palace of Oz, home of the Great Wizard. They walked up to the shoulder at the door and asked to see the wizard. He led them to a large round room, and they were greeted by a little man dressed in a long green robe, and he seated on a marble stone and nodded as he spoke.
I am Oz, the Great Wizard. Why have you come? I want to go back home to Kansas.
I'd like some brains.
I need a hut.
I want courage.
The wizard
The wizard solemnly told the four that he could not help them unless they brought him the broomstick of the last evil witch, the Wicked Witch of the West. Then the soldier returned and escorted the group to the front door.
There, they asked the soldier how they could find the Wicked Witch of the West. He warned them that all those who attempted to see the Wicked Witch never returned. Finally, the soldier realized his adventure would not be followed. So he told the group how they could find the Wicked Witch. They thanked him to lead towards the west. They ran as fast as they could, and soon every city was all
We sit and rest, you guys stand.
They ran as fast as they could, and soon the Emerald City was far behind. Dorothy and the lion were very tired from running and decided to rest. They lay down on the soft grass, and in no time at all, they were fast asleep while the Tin Man and Squirrel stood guard. Now the Wicked Witch of the West had only one eye, but it was as powerful as a telescope and could see anyone. She saw Dorothy and her friends and noticed the virtues on Dorothy. Then she called her slaves and made them monkeys.
Come here, monkeys. Catch the girl and break her magic shoes.
The wicked monkey took to the sky, and there were so many of them that the sky and was flowers. Was to see them.
Tin Man!
The white monkey. Quick, hide and hide.
But it was too late. Suddenly, the monkeys were upon them. The lion, the scarecrow, and the Tin Man fought a fierce battle, but it was no use. There were too many monkeys. Finally, the monkeys picked up Dorothy, who was holding Toto in her arms, and flew back to the castle. The Wicked Witch was waiting when they arrived.
Grab him! Or is that the wrong line? Give me. Am I the wrong line? Oh.
Or give me those shoes.
Give me those shoes. No, they're mine!
The witch had from slaves told Dorothy, well, she tried to remove the shoes, but they wouldn't come off. The witch realized that since they were magic shoes, they could only be removed if Dorothy wished them to be off.
If you don't give me your shoes, I will kill your dog.
The witch reached for Toto, who immediately bit her on the hand.
Ouch! You'll pay for this, you bad dog. I'll be back in 1 hour. If you don't give me those shoes, I'll kill your dog.
1 hour passed,
Yeah, you.
and the witch returned. She was not aware that the lion, the scarecrow, and the Tin Man climbed over the outside wall, and once again the wicked witch asked the Dorothy to refuse. The witch slave were about to reach for Toto, and then when Spring and Laura, the witch pointed out the lion.
Grab him.
4 of the winged monkeys jumped at the lion, but he knocked them all down with one blow from his paw. The witch grabbed a torch from the wall and was about to set the lion gushing down fire. When Dorothy grabbed a pail of water nearby and threw it on the witch, instantly the woman gave a loud cry and began to shrink away. Soon the witch was gone. The creatures of the
Creatures of the castle.
the creatures of the castle were happy because they were finally set free from the witch's spell. Dorothy spotted the witch's broom on the floor and picked it up. And her friends would farewell to the creatures of the castle, and then they returned to the Wizard of Oz. One day, to the creatures of the castle, then they returned to the Wizard of Oz. When they were once again in the great room, the wizard spoke to them.
Okay, you can have this bucket.
Wizard.
I'm happy to see you. Do you have the witch's broom? Yes, great listener. Not only do we have the broom, we can kill the wicked witch.
They were surprised to see the little man climb down from his throne and joyless danced around. The news from the wicked witch that quickly spread out through the Emerald City, and there was great merriment of joy and rejoicing. The wizard called Dorothy and her friends into the grant their wishes. First, he took the scarecrow and filled the needles with pins. Pins and needles.
This will make you sharp.
Next, he took a heart-shaped clock from his bag and placed it inside the Tin Man. Okay, that was just right.
Now you have a heart.
Then the wizard had the lion drink a source of sour-tasting green liquid.
Here you go. You were brave to drink that. It's what I call real courage.
Finally came Dorothy's turn. Oz smiled as he spoke to her.
You could have gone back home a long time ago if you knew the magic you had.
What do you mean?
Those red shoes will take you home. All you need to do is click your heels together 3 times.
Kiss her friends goodbye, and then she picked up
Don't really pick her up.
and clicked her heels.
I clicked them together 3 times.
Shoes together 3 times.
Quickly, Dorothy was
There's
back
no
home.
place like home.
There's no place.
I'm running away.
Turn the
Bye,
page.
Toto.
Page 7.
Quickly, Dorothy was back home. Dorothy was glad to be back with her parents, but realized that she would never be able to forget her wonderful adventure in the land of Oz.
All right. Over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that we dream